Hey, my journaling buddies, welcome back to the Gratitude Show. All right, let's be real for a minute. We all know that communication can be really messy, especially if you want to get your point across or you just want to win the argument. Sometimes it feels like no matter how hard you try, your words get misinterpreted or you feel unheard, whether it's with your spouse, your kids, your friends, or even one of your coworkers who just doesn't get it. We've all have moments where conversation goes south real quick. But what if I told you that gratitude is the game changer? That something as simple as appreciation can shift your entire approach to communication, making conflicts smoother, relationships stronger, and connection deeper. That's what we're diving into today. So grab your journal, your favorite drink, or whatever you need to get comfortable because this episode might just change the way you communicate, whether it's with your spouse, family, or friends. Let's get into it.
Welcome to Journaling with Judith, the podcast where gratitude transforms lives. I'm Judith, a wife, mom, John Maxwell leadership coach, and a daughter of the King. What if gratitude could shift your perspective on life? What if everything God has for you is in your gratitude posture? Together, we will explore how choosing gratitude can draw you closer into the will of God and manifest your divine birthright. Grab your journal, open your heart, and let's get started.
Welcome back, my journaling buddies. I am grateful that each and every one of you are here. I am so excited about this episode. Why gratitude changes how we communicate. Let me ask you something and be honest. Have you ever walked into a conversation already on edge? You're upset, you're frustrated, and before the other person even says a word, you've already decided how this is going to go down. Yes, I have. The thing is, when we enter conversations with frustration or assumptions, we're setting ourselves up for misunderstanding, tension, and conflict. But gratitude, my friends, gratitude rewires your brain. So let's get into some scientific facts. We've already come to the conclusion on other previous episodes that practicing gratitude increases dopamine and serotonin, the chemicals that makes you feel happy and connected. So when gratitude is present, your brain does three things. It helps you to focus on what's right instead of dwelling on what's wrong. You become more empathetic, which means you actually listen instead of waiting to respond. Have you ever been in those conversations where you're just waiting for the person to wrap up what they're saying so you can respond? That means you have not heard a thing that person has said because you were waiting to respond. Why? Because you are focused on getting your point across. The other thing that gratitude does, it reduces stress and anxiety, helping you to communicate without defensiveness. So let's bring in the scripture, Colossians 4 verse 6. Let your conversations be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer everyone. And listen, guys, I can't wait to share episode 15 with you guys, where we are going to get into why gratitude is so important and how it helps us as well to render or give grace to others. So that will be our next episode coming up on Tuesday. So today I want you to take away that gratitude doesn't just change how you feel. It changes how you speak, listen, and connect with your loved one. How gratitude transforms conflict. If we are honest with ourselves, we know that conflict is inevitable. There's no relationship where conflict is non-existent. So whether it's an argument with your spouse or a disagreement with a friend or that one conversation you keep putting off because it's too awkward, we all face moments of tension. But here's where gratitude comes in. Instead of seeing conflict as something to win, gratitude helps you to see it as an opportunity to grow. Come on now. Try this perspective shift. Without gratitude, your words will sound like, why don't you ever listen to me? Why don't you care about my opinions? But with gratitude, I really appreciate the time you take to listen. It means so much when you're fully present. You see, in Proverbs 15 verse 1, it says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. So reframing your word, your tone, does have a big impact on your partner or whatever relationship that you're in or whatever argument that's consuming. Why does it work? So the first statement made the other person defensive, but the second statement acknowledges their effort, making them more open to change. So think about a recent conflict or argument that you've had with someone. How could leading with gratitude have changed the outcome of that argument? Reflect in this moment. Reframing negative thoughts with gratitude. We've all been there, stuck in a loop of negative thoughts that dictates how we respond in conversations. They don't care about my feelings. I'm always misunderstood. Do you ever feel like that? I certainly do. They never do anything right. But what if we flip that switch, those thoughts with gratitude, and try to reframe these things? So let's practice these exercises. First, they never help around the house. For those of us who are parents, we know how messy our kids can be. And if your husband is anything like mine, who just walks in the house without taking his shoes off from coming outside, and no matter how you communicate that's something you don't appreciate, it just doesn't change. I'm spilling the tea on my husband, you all. So we all have situations in our family that we will communicate over and over again, but the result does not change. We know how it feels to ask our kids to pick up after themselves. Stop leaving the dishes washed up after yourselves if they are capable to. So what do you do when you're communicating the same thing over and over again, but it feels like it's not being heard? We all can relate, so they never help around the house. And reframe it by saying, I appreciate the time they do help. Maybe they're feeling overwhelmed too. Philippians 4 verse 8, whatever is true, whatever is noble, remember, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think about such things. The way you feel might be the way the other person feel, but only because you are expressing it doesn't mean that someone else does not have that same feeling. So it's good for us to journal and write down the things that keeps reoccurring, the negative thoughts about someone you love, and reframe it with gratitude. Gratitude changes how we speak and listen. Did you know that gratitude actually changes your tone? The more you practice gratitude, the more you become calmer. And I have actually noticed this within myself. I am much more calmer. I am not shouting like how I used to all the time. I'm gonna pick this thing up off the floor. I am way more calmer than how I used to be. Think about it. When you're frustrated, your tone is sharp. It's loud. Your words are clipped. Your body language screams, I'm annoyed. But when you're grateful, your tone softens, your words feel warmer, and your body language is more open. Start conversations with appreciation. End them with gratitude. Make gratitude a habit, not just a reaction. Write down 3 ways you can lead conversations with gratitude this week and make it a habit. Beautiful thing that I've learned about gratitude, and the more I've practiced gratitude, the more I make it the norm in my life. It has helped me tremendously in improving how I communicate with my spouse, with my children, and everyone around me. When you practice active listening with gratitude, it also helps to resolve conflicts much better. Most people listen just to respond, not to understand. They don't care about what you're saying. All they want to do is get their point across. But instead, I encourage you to try reflective listening. Reflective listening. Repeat back what you've heard. And it can go something like this. I hear you're saying that you feel overwhelmed. I appreciate you sharing with me. Or show sympathy. That makes sense. I never saw it that way. Or thank them for their honesty. I really appreciate you opening up about this. Now I do understand with more clarity. James 1 verse 19 says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. Who in your life do you need to listen to more intentionally? Here is a 5-to-1 gratitude rule. Studies have shown that every one negative comment, we need 5 positive ones to balance the emotional impact. Try this challenge this week. For every complaint, follow up with 5 statements of gratitude. Watch how it changes the energy of the conversation. Gracious words are like honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Remember that scripture. Write down 5 things you appreciate about someone you've been frustrated with. For this week's challenge, continue your daily gratitude check-ins. Each morning, thank God for one person in your life, then tell them why you're grateful for them. Try gratitude journaling. Write about one challenging conversation and how you can approach it differently with gratitude. And the 5-to-1 ratio rule. For every negative thought or complaint, find 5 positive things about that person. Remember, gratitude doesn't eliminate conflict. It transforms how you navigate it. My final thoughts for you today, my journaling buddies. Communication isn't just about words. It's about the heart behind them. What's your heart posture when you're in a conflict or an argument? If you're struggling to connect, start with gratitude. It's the bridge that turns conflict into understanding and distance into closeness. Who do you need to express gratitude today? How can you use gratitude to change a different conversation? Let's connect. Drop me a comment and let me know how has this episode has helped you in any way. I would love to hear from you and how you're choosing gratitude in your communication style this week. Until next time, keep journaling, keep reflecting, and keep choosing gratitude. See you next Tuesday.
Before you go, thank you for tuning in to Journaling with Judith today. If this episode blessed you, please follow and subscribe. Also, share with a friend. Don't forget to join the Facebook group for daily prompts, extra guidance, and an amazing community of gratitude seekers. And remember to grab your copy of Journaling with Judith, available on Amazon, to make the most of this journey. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, stay grateful, stay faithful, and keep journaling. God bless you, and I love you with the love of God.